Welcome to Sunshine Cathedral's Queer God Squad. It's Thursday, January 1st, 2026. I am Bishop Darrell Watkins, the Senior Minister of the Sunshine Cathedral. With me today are Bishop Robert Griffin, my husband, Reverend Dr. Ann Atwell, and Reverend Kevin Tisdall. We are the Queer God Squad. Visit sunshinecathedral.org to learn more about us.
Queer God Squad was created by Hotspots Happening Out to support our mission to explore the value of faith in the LGBTQ community. There is no streaming TV show like this in the entire world.
In 2025, we are celebrating the 40th anniversary of Hotspots magazine, with Queer News Tonight sharing over 11,000 stories and 11 million views so far.
We are the largest nonprofit LGBTQ media organization in America, and we encourage you to support our mission to inform, entertain, and educate our community and allies. This is the Sunshine Cathedral Perspective. Queer churches, sacraments, and rites. In the Western Church, there are 7 sacraments: baptism, Holy Communion, confirmation, reconciliation, ordination, matrimony, and healing prayer, aka Extreme Unction or Last Rites. In some churches, only 2 or 3 of those are sacraments, and the rest are considered sacramental rites. Some churches have only the first 2 sacraments, and that's it, while still churches have the same 2 rituals, but call them ordinance rather than a sacrament. At Sunshine Cathedral, our sacraments are spiritual baptism, Holy Communion, and stewardship. Our 4 additional rites are matrimony, celebration of life, confirmation, and blessing. What does it all mean? What difference does it make? And why are we at Sunshine Cathedral slightly different than most? The Queer God Squad Bishop is going to tell you.
Ain't there 2 of us?
Kevin and I will just sit over here.
We're going to be entertaining online. You know, when I was growing up, I grew up Baptist, and so there was none of this kind of language in my church growing up. And so, you know, I knew that at some point we all had to be baptized, and we had to write a membership. Well, they read this big church covenant thing off of a wall that we all had to kind of repeat and say behind. It wasn't until much later that I got to understand the difference between the sacraments and the rites and how they all line up, and how each denomination, or various denominations, one has more than this one has more than this one, one's a sacrament, one's a rite, and so how they all line up. And the thing that I appreciate about ours at the Sunshine Cathedral is the fact that Darrell wrote, husband, Bishop Darrell, wrote a book many years ago now called Loosing the Canons. Remember that one?
Leah.
Yeah, so so it really was, when you wrote the book, I always think of that book title as about how we really loosen the canons of the Sunshine Cathedral to make the sacraments be what people need versus a top-down thing that one must endure just because they're a member, just because they're 10. But we really have loosened the canons around here, and so we appreciate how we approach our understanding of what it means to enact the sacraments and to honor the rites that we have here at the Sunshine Cathedral.
Don't look for that on Amazon. It was a curriculum. It was an in-house thing. It was I probably should put it out more, but that was for class. But anyway,
go in the book. I prophesied.
But a sacrament is an outward sign of inward grace. It is the outward performance of an inward event. So so that's all it is. And historically, the church has. The Catholic Church has listed these 7. And then other churches that broke away, like the Anglican Church, they kept the 7, but they said the 2 that Jesus initiated are sacraments, and the other 5 are sacramental rites, which are like sacraments, but they don't have the same importance because Jesus didn't initiate them. Well, he didn't initiate baptism. John the Baptist was already doing that. And he didn't initiate, he may not have initiated communion. The Apostle Paul probably did that. So whatever, call whatever you want to a sacrament. But for us, we call stewardship a sacrament because we honestly believe that there is a grace in giving, that is an outward sign of inward grace. It's not just to keep the lights on, although if you don't give, we can't keep the lights on. But there's something about sharing what you really believe in with what you really believe in. Well, we really believe in money. We just do. Especially in a capitalistic society. So when we use our money to put into something else we believe in, there is a connection. There is a spiritual, personal investment. So when you give, and I don't mean like when you throw change at the window, because they're collecting for this, that, or the other thing, but when you support NPR, when that's just part of your annual budget. When you support the zoo, when you support your church or synagogue, or when you support a foundation or a hospital or your alma mater, you believe in those things, and you believe in them enough that you want them to thrive and you want them there for future generations. So you put your money into the thing that gives you joy or gave you a boost in life or gives you some connection, something bigger than yourself. So we consider it a sacrament, the sacrament of sharing, because you're investing yourself into something that has made yourself better, and you think can make other selves better. So I don't know of anyone else who has a sacrament of sharing, but we do. And celebration of life. Most people, most churches don't have a celebration of life, sacramental rite. The Metropolitan Community Churches does, and I believe the Community of Christ does. And then all the rest are pretty normal. We have what's called a rite of blessing. Again, that's part of MCC's structure, and we fold into that anything. So a rite of blessing would be for healing. So instead of Extreme Unction or Last Rites, the rite of blessing covers that. If you wanted a blessing for your relationship, but you didn't want to make vows, or you didn't want to fill out paperwork to make it legal, we could do a rite of blessing for your relationship. So it's like a wedding without vows, and it's not, the courthouse doesn't know anything about. If you wanted, we don't have a standard sort of confession, but if you wanted to make a confession, that would be under the rite of blessing, because we'll hear you, let you unburden yourself, and then we'll offer you a blessing. And so the rite of blessing for us covers all of those things. So the celebration of life and the sacrament of sharing are sort of unique to us. And the rite of blessing is also sort of unique, but it covers all the other ones, like confession and last rites. And then, of course, Holy Communion is Holy Communion, but ours is different because we don't tell you what it has to mean. Mm-hmm. You don't have to be a member of our church. You don't have to call yourself Christian. You don't have to believe that anything amazing happens. It could just be a symbol. It could just be something you share with your loved ones. Mm-hmm. It could be just a chance to get a blessing. It could be very mysterious and mystical and magical. That's you. And it can change over time. Whatever you believe about today, you might not believe next year. Whatever. We offer it and you have the experience you do. So that's a little different. We call baptism spiritual baptism, because we say that once you have invested yourself, once you have become a part of things, once you are here with your time and your prayers and your volunteer service and your stewardship and your offerings, once it's your whole, it's part of your whole life, that the faith community is part of your whole life stewardship, you're immersed in it. You have been washed, hopefully. We've been trying to wash you from false guilt and shame and self-loathing. You have been immersed in love and in affirmation and in the faith community. Now, if you want a water ritual, we'll splash you up and down. But we don't require it. We say that once you become a member, we don't say you have to be baptized to be a member. We say once you're a member, you are immersed, you are baptized into the life of the church. If you want to celebrate that with water, you can, but we don't require it. Confirmation for us is just attaining membership. We confirm your membership. It's not anything more special than that. So we have our 7, but they differ in the way we number them and in what they mean to us. They're much more broad and progressive, I think, than you would find most people's. But we do have 7 special events. Matrimony is pretty much the same, I guess, no matter what, and everything else has a very liberal spin to it, or we're putting it into a group like Blessing that just cover everything.
And how appropriate for Sunshine Cathedral to have very specific, sometimes a little bit different, just a little bit of a tweak, different rites and sacraments. I remember in seminary, I actually took a class that was rituals and rites or something like that, something similar to that. And some of these, growing up in the Presbyterian Church, I had never heard of, but I appreciate them. I certainly understand them. And rituals and rites are very, very important, I think, to people when they come into the church. They're looking for something like that. And to have our own, kind of based on what the broader experience is, I think makes Sunshine Cathedral pretty special.
Last month, in December, we had a membership inquirers class.
Mm-hmm.
I'm always interested when we get to this part of the conversation, what people are going to talk about. And this time around, the question came up again about spiritual baptism. And does that mean that I have to be immersed? Do I have to be flooded with water? And my answer was just what Bishop said. No, you don't need any water in order to have a spiritual baptism. Mm-hmm. At Sunshine Cathedral, we do offer a water baptism. It's not a full immersion baptism, but you can get splashed with water if you need it, but you don't need it, not at our church. And the other question is always, and this time around, was again about communion. The question was poached in the way, you tell me anybody that walks through the door can receive communion at your church? At our church? Yes, that's exactly what it means. This is an open table. If you listen to the conversation at every single communion that we offer, we say it is an open communion for everyone, no matter where they are in their spiritual walk. So yeah, I think that it's wonderful that we're able to share our message with so many people as often as we do, either in the house or through our global fellowship. I love it.
Mm-hmm. Also, if you have, if you're worshiping with us online, you can take communion with us. You're part of our community. And if you want a baptism, but you can't get to us, we can work it out. There's a couple of ways we can be creative with it, but we'll just make it happen.
Yeah.
And so yeah, we're very creative. We're not disrespectful of the traditions. Correct. We're just not bound to them. We're just we're not chained. We're not limited to them. So we reinterpret them, we reimagine them, we broaden them so that they aren't something that we're beholden to. They're something that enrich our lives. And whatever we need to do to them to keep them relevant that way, we'll do them. Yep. Jesus said that the Sabbath was made for us, not us for the Sabbath. And I think that's true of every aspect of religion. It's for us.
Yes.
We're not for it. So we try to keep it fresh so that it can be for us and make our lives more joyful.
Yes.
And that's today with the Queer God Squad.
Before we go, I want to invite you to check out our performing arts series in January 2026.
Award-winning and Billboard charting artist Flamey Grant is a shame-slaying, hip-swaying, singing, songwriting drag queen from Western North Carolina. She's here January the 9th, and tickets can be secured at sunshinecathedral.org/arts.
Also in January, we will enjoy the antics of actor, singer, comic, drag artist Varla Jean on January 24th.
Then on January 30th, Miss Richfield 1981 will bring her offbeat brand of hilarity to South Florida.
And finally, on January 31st, the beautiful voice and charming style of Ann Steele is back. Lesbians love her, gay men adore her, and all music lovers recognize her as an engaging musical performer. Information about these performances and other performers as well can be found tickets for their shows can be found at sunshinecathedral.org/arts.
And remember the Cathedral Pub. The Sunshine Cathedral Center for the Performing Arts offers the Cathedral Pub experience. The Cathedral Pub offers performance attendees an inviting space to gather and connect with friends prior to the show, or a place to be while waiting for the doors to open. Guests enjoy live music, beverages, and appetizers in a comfortable meet and greet environment while they await the start of the performance. On show nights, the Cathedral Pub opens an hour before each performance and closes 15 minutes before it starts. Entry to the Cathedral Pub, hear this, entry to the Cathedral Pub requires a separate purchase from your seat ticket. If you get the pub ticket, that is not a show ticket. If you get a show ticket, that is not the pub ticket. You have to get the pub ticket in addition to your show ticket. And you can do so no matter what seat you have. Like there's no preference. You can just do the pub add-on, but the show ticket and the pub ticket are two different things. But you can get your seat ticket and your pub ticket when you purchase your seat ticket on the link found on the seat section page. Be sure to purchase before checking out. There is a limited number of people who can get pub access, so don't delay.
Thank you for joining the Queer God Squad today. We are here daily at 3 p.m. to have some fun and to discuss what our LGBTQ community is talking about. Please like and share this and other episodes of the Queer God Squad.
Sunshine Cathedral is the world's leading progressive queer church. Progressive, queer, and God are words that naturally should go together. Remember that we are all in this together. Also remember, you are God's miracle, not God's mistake. Until next time, we are the Queer God Squad.